Welcome to Fun Palais Podcast, where we are unpacking opinions and changing destinations. I am your host, Sherley and Alejandra, where each week we will chat about how to rise strong out of all types of obstacles that come with relationships. Through personal life experiences and discussions ranging from infidelity, trust, forgiveness, sex, heartbreak, self-love, and so much more. I am passionate and obsessed to provide guidance to every woman to create a better life. Let's dive in, pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be challenged and encouraged while you learn. With me, your virtual girlfriend. Welcome back to Fun Palais. Today we have another episode and a special guest. Her name is Alejandra McRee. She is a love and confidence coach for women who are in search of genuine love and a relationship. She helps women step into their confidence to attract the partner that they deserve. Welcome, Alejandra. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you, Shirley, for having me. I'm so honored to be a guest here on your podcast.
Not a problem. I am welcoming you with open arms. I love what you're doing and how your business started. I'm very interested in hearing everything. So I guess first you want to share how your business started, what you offer, and all the nuts and bolts included in it.
Yes, so last year, with everything that's been going on in the world, I wanted to start off with reading books. And then I went into to a whole deep dive of learning to love yourself and pretty much letting go of the limiting beliefs that your parents have put upon you, society, your friends, and everything. And then I started seeing the number 222 everywhere. It was weird. And I looked it up and I was like, okay, you're on the right path. And I was like, what does that mean? But previously to the coaching business I have now, I was actually part of an MLM where it helped women pretty much get fit and just love their bodies and get athletic or get moving one way or another. But it didn't really fit where I wanted to be because that kind of was constricting. I didn't want women to feel so ashamed of their bodies and like, I have to exercise, I have to diet this way because then that gets you in the mindset of like, I don't look good.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was very restricting. So I kind of wanted to go off of like, I want them to love themselves just for who they are and then to improve 1% better each day. Um, so from there, I then had an event at my house. It was a wine event since we weren't able to go anywhere. I was like, you know what? I want my girlfriends here. Let's have a wine event. Let's have some food. Let's have girl chat. And from there, it sparked the idea of women talking about all sorts of topics that we go through, but we feel so ashamed to talk about
Got it.
because everyone's going to be judging us.
Exactly.
So from there, I started a YouTube channel and I ended up creating a couple of videos. And during the 4th of July, I was to go to a cabin with my mom, but that fell through. But I ended up going to the cabin by myself to West Virginia. I'm actually from Virginia,
Okay.
and it was so strange to me to go on a solo trip because I've never done that. Like I would always go to a place where I would meet with friends or with family, but this was just me to a cabin for the weekend all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned to pretty much figure out who I was without my mom or my husband or my friends. It was just me. And this is something that I wish every single woman out there would experience because you pretty much see all the capabilities that you have inside of you without having to ask for validation or support from your family because all the power that you need is already inside of you.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you say solo traveling is huge. Not many people do it. People are scared. And also, society has put, oh my gosh, you don't travel alone. You don't do that. You need to be safe. You need to bring someone with you. So I'm glad you had a good experience. So,
Yes.
and now I guess we're going to go flashback into you're married. Tell us about your relationship life before
My
this husband
relationship
or present husband.
So my relationships in the past, and they weren't very long. It was maybe up to 3 months or so, or if it was on and off for a year or two, it was nothing very serious, not someone that would commit to me. I felt like I was chasing something that I wanted so bad and I was obsessed with. I guess you can call that lust, but
Okay.
there are three types of love that you go through, right? Like the one when you're a child, everything's all happy and dandy, but things don't work out.
Yes.
But then that's the second love where it teaches you what you truly deserve.
Okay.
And then the third love is the one that I'm currently in. It's my first marriage, and it's been the most magical marriage I could ever experience and ask for because he's supportive. He, like, in regards to that solo journey, he was like, "You should go. You should definitely enjoy this cabin on your own." And that is something that I wish every single woman experiences because not many women go ahead and do that because they're terrified or they want to stay in their comfort zone.
Exactly, because I think they're scared too. Even me as a flight attendant, the first
Mhm,
time I went solo on my own in a whole nother state, I was in a whole nother country, and
mhm.
now I'm having a brain fart. Edinburgh, I was in Scotland.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yes, no one in the crew wanted to do anything. And I knew when I first started the job, they had told me, you may run into an issue where no one wants to go anywhere with you. They are tired or maybe they're not interested. You guys have different things. And
Mhm,
I spent the whole day by myself traveling. And it was strange at first. But after a
mhm.
few hours, I adapted perfectly fine. I didn't have to check in with nobody, girl.
Yes, I love that. That was the most amazing part because you're stressed about what everybody wants to do. You have to agree on a common ground, and then you have to figure out, oh, this person can't do this, and yada, yada, yada. So that is the best part about traveling on your own.
Yes, and that was the most amazing part. I did not have to check in with anybody. I moved when I wanted to move. I went to go eat
Mhm,
where I wanted to eat. I sat
mhm.
down and I had like a nice time by myself. But I think too that goes along to why people never go out alone. And
Yes.
because we get stuck into our relationship and
Mhm,
it's great to have date nights. That is awesome. But
mhm.
sometimes time to ourselves, maybe you need to separate yourself outside of the home because sometimes you're a mother. So you can understand trying to find that space in the house where you don't have an interruption can be quite a bit hard when you have children. So when you step out, going to the movies, going out to eat. People don't do those things alone because why? They feel shamed. There might be a couple sitting across from you, like, oh, I wonder why she's by herself. She must be having a bad
Definitely.
day. Something must have
Mhm,
happened. We're always
mhm.
putting a negative connotation on everything.
Yes, it's
So,
very true.
yeah,
So in regards to the mom aspect, I'm actually a stepmom of 3 boys. Don't have kids of my own, but
that's okay, girl. That's okay. You are still a motherly figure to them. And I'm
yes.
glad you bring that up because I am a strong advocate. Of course, with my infidelity situation, I was not by choice of my own. I became a stepmother. And
Okay.
for the long girl, I never thought I could love anybody how I love my children outside of her. But she is part of us. And regardless
Yes.
how the situation came to be, she is still
Mhm.
part of us. So, girl, kudos 100%. You may not have birthed these children out of your vagina or a C-section or whatever the case may be.
Right, right,
You make
right.
a huge impact in your life. So, take credit for it.
Thank you. Yes, I sometimes forget to do that, but you're so right because if there's an emergency, like I am always supporting my husband of, okay, like we need to do this, we need to figure it out. Like I want the boys to know that they have our support, even though we're from far away from them.
Yes, and it's because as humans, we put titles on everything.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
this is where title step mom, step this, step that. It's not even mom. And even if they don't call you mom, but they need to understand how important of a factor you play in their life. So take credit for it 100%. But even the boys. My little son right here, I get it. And they're
Mhm.
so rambunctious. How old are the boys?
So the oldest one is 17, then the middle one is 12, and the youngest one is 10. The middle one is the one that likes to cuddle and everything, and I
Oh,
love that. The 10-year-old loves to like have activities, play hide and seek, especially when they're in the house. And then the 17-year-old, you would think that he would be rebellious, but he is the calmest teenager I have ever met.
find yourself blessed because I've heard some opposite
I
stories.
am completely blessed with them. I seriously don't know how lucky I can get with my husband as well as his boy. They are truly amazing. I have heard so many crazy stories of like the boys are lazy, they don't do this and that. And of course, that's part of being a kid, but at the same time, they are just truly amazing.
Wonderful. So now talk to us of how in your business you help I guess individuals or individuals because you are
Sure.
helping them find that relationship for them. What are the steps that you take? Do you have master classes one-on-one? What is it that you offer?
So currently I offer one-on-ones. That's something that I think I want to keep with my business throughout, but we are reframing your mindset. We are getting rid of those limiting beliefs that you have, those mental blocks of why you can't find a man, of maybe you were cheated in the past and then now you think every single man is a cheater. I know for example with me when I was growing up, I mean my dad cheated on my mom and then I know a couple of friends fathers and everything, it's like all you see is that. But then if you realize that you want something more, you want a different kind of love, then the universe is going to be able to provide that. God, however you want to call it, it's going to be put in front of you. But the thing that blocks us the most is the mental limiting beliefs we put upon ourselves. And then our body also follows suit as well as our spirit. So it keeps us all closed in.
Exactly. I do agree. Mindset plays a huge control because, after that traumatic situation, you automatically now assume that everyone is the same. I can't date
Mm-hmm.
anymore because all guys are shit. They all cheat.
Yes,
They're all going to break my heart. They're all awful. And when that's not the case. And
exactly.
every relationship I feel like can be risky. There's no foolproof plan, but
Right.
it's about mindset, changing that mindset. So, what are some steps, if you don't mind me asking, that you take, or what is your ideal candidate? Is it someone that has been through a traumatic situation, or could it be an amicable breakup?
It's both, honestly. It doesn't have to be either a traumatic event or an amicable breakup because it comes down to really loving yourself. If
Got
you
it.
know who you are and you love who you are down to the core, not the mask that you put on for other people, for your friends, even your family, because at some point your family knows just a certain side of you. But
Mhm.
you have to be real with who you are to then be able to attract that person that you're looking for. Because if you're going to be fake with the person who you are, then you're gonna be attracting all the wrong people.
Gotcha. Now, do you incorporate like love language or is it like a coaching session? Because I guess I'm asking like for like prime example, when I was going through my situation, through my infidelity, I was depressed, I
Mhm,
was sad, I felt like hubby was the most shittiest person on the face of this earth. Now, mind you, I was also a perpetrator as well. I cheated.
mhm.
So we both have been through the same situation. Now, if I had came to you, how had you helped me get out of that funk that I was in?
So every single week we would meet, we would see what situation you've been going through, and we would go ahead and coach through that. So I would ask you the questions necessary to see what exactly is that it's holding you back or why you're in that scenario and peel those layers because eventually there is a root cause as to why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
Absolutely, very true. Peeling those layers. I like how you
Mhm,
said that because trying to figure out the underlying reason of the why you're feeling the way you're feeling. I know you did say your husband is life changing and the children and everything. Is there any situation that you had been through why you picked this niche in particular? Other than I know what you said when you first started about what happened last year with the girlfriends meeting together, but is there anything that
yes.
happened in your life in the past?
That is such a great question because I actually hired a coach myself because when I went on this solo trip,
Hmm.
I listened to this podcast. Her name was Catherine Zinkina, and she was talking about all these manifestation things. That's what something that I was getting into.
Gotcha.
And I realized that in the past, I had manifested my husband because I had dated previously. And then one year, 2013, April
Okay.
2013, I remember this. I wrote a post exactly what I wanted in a man. And 4 months later, I ended up dating my now husband. But I didn't know this until a year later. Facebook was like, hey, you wrote this. I was like, hold on a second. Did I really manifested my husband? That's insane. And from there, I was like, okay. So I started reading into personal development. You Are
Hmm.
a Badass is like my number one book for everyone to read because if
I
you
heard
don't
of
know
it.
you are a badass, you have to read that book.
It's in my pile of all my readings, so I've heard of that book. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. So it talks about manifestation, it talks about the ego and all of that stuff. So from there, on that solo trip, I ended up finding another podcast talking about manifesting money because that's the one thing that I've had issues with. I've been
Okay.
able to manifest my husband, I've been able to manifest my house that I live in currently,
Okay.
and pretty much manifest my life because when I was little, I remember stating that I don't ever want to have a child outside of my marriage. I
Got it.
don't want to have a child at a certain age. I want to be married, have a house first, then have a kid. So that was my plan.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, your plan can always change.
Yes.
Um, so I found my coach through this podcast on this solo trip, and then I started following her, and I was like, okay, let me see what this is all about because I tried to learn through YouTube and see how I can coach and everything. I was like, I need a mentor. So I got on a call with her, and I was like, I can't afford you. You're too much right now.
Hmm.
And then after a couple of minutes getting on the call with her, I was like, I need this. I need the change. I need to commit myself and be able to do what I want to do. So after 10 minutes getting off the call with her, I hired her on the spot and paid her in full. And from there, I've been slowly building my business that I have now.
That is phenomenal. So the manifestation has been very impactful in your life. Do you use that in the coaching business?
Yes, I do actually. I tell my clients to go ahead and tell me what it is that they're looking for, write me a list, and then go from there. You may have the guy that you're looking for, and you don't even realize it, you don't see it. But then in your mind, if you've gone through a relationship where it was traumatic or it was amicable, it doesn't matter because then you question yourself. We're all questioning ourselves like, can we do it? This is risky. Let's
Mhm.
stay in our comfort zone. I know how my life is now, but if I go into this relationship, what can happen? Anything can happen. I can have my heart
Exactly.
broken or I can go ahead and have an amazing life.
Absolutely. Now, for someone who is a relationship, if I wanted to come see you, am I still a qualified candidate?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of things that happen when you're in a relationship, you get comfortable, right? Everything is just dull. And then yes, so you gotta spark that up again.
Yes.
One thing that I've realized that has helped me, because I've gotten to that point too. We've been married for 3 years, we've been together for 7
Uh-huh.
altogether. And what I realize is you have to be grateful for where you are and where you've been, and that kind of just starts triggering of like, you know what? My husband is amazing. Like he does this for me. He does this for our kids. He does this for our home, but we take it for granted because it's something that's already normal to us.
You're absolutely right. And I am a victim of this. I make every effort, I really truly do, to speak life into him. But I know there are days where I am a shitty wife. And I need to really like spruce it up a little bit, Shirley. Send that simple thank you message of something he did because he had to go to work and he didn't get enough sleep. Just you
Mhm.
saying thank you for doing this before you went to
Mhm.
work. That little message right there, you don't know how enlightening. And I know it because when he does it to me, I feel it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that little effort or that little I guess recognition of you showing of like, I saw that you did this. Thank you so much because it took something out of my plate and you did it for me. I'm so grateful for you.
Yes, and it's that complacent. We become comfortable and
Yep.
it's like, nope, I'm not doing it. This is something he's supposed to do. Why do I need to thank him for? It's that mindset,
Yes.
which is
Mhm.
awful because I am victim of it. I will say I don't do it all the time, but I know there are days, there are moments where I'm really bad. I'm really bad at it and I don't need to be that way.
And it's just us being human, but as long as you are aware of it and conscious of it and you can make that change, that is all that matters.
Yes, that's the important thing. Okay, that's good. Now, with manifestation, I like it and I'm learning how to implement it. Other
Mhm.
than just thinking it, is it important to write it down? And I wanted to add also another piece to that. Although I do like writing, I am a natural speaker. Like I like recording things. Is audio okay also for manifestation?
Definitely, yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
You thinking it, you feeling it, you speaking it out, it all works. It doesn't matter. It's all about the energy that you put into it, the feeling that you have, and from there, just don't be attached to the outcome because it's gonna show up with you no matter how. Like, the how is not important, it's more of, like, the energy you focus on.
gotcha, gotcha. Okay, that's good because I had another session I had to ask too because although I'm not a big journal person,
Mhm.
but I realize I like audio. Like I have a few clips that I've saved on my phone. If my day was really bad or I need to talk about it and release that negative energy, I'll just do an audio version of it instead of writing it. So that's good to know.
Yeah, it's funny because I've also manifested like a day. For example, my sister, she has her birthday in the winter, and we went for a ski lodge for tubing, and it looked like it was raining. And I was like, please let it snow, let it snow. And then just me believing that it was going to snow and we're going to have a snow day, and ended up happening because it looked like it was a mixture. I was like, please let it just be snow. And it ended up just being a snow day. And I was like, thank you. Like, once you say it and then you just are grateful for it, then it's bound to happen.
Speaking it into existence, bringing it, putting it into the
Yes.
universe. Yeah, I'm a strong believer in
Yes,
that.
exactly.
So, my question before we end for the day is number one, the women that are coming to you, what questions should they ask themselves when they're coming to you? Because they also have to remember you're not here to cure them.
Correct.
So what question do they need to ask themselves so and when they come to you, they're better prepared. So they don't think in their mind, oh, this woman's going to help me find the one. Uh, with
Yeah,
your
no,
help
it's
as
true.
well.
Mhm. The question that would be necessary for them is, am I ready to be held accountable? Am I ready to learn? Am I ready to give it my all and let down my walls?
Gotcha. And change is important too, because if you
Yes.
constantly are doing things the same way you used to do, it's kind of like if I did things the same in 2020 and I'm repeating the same exact thing in 2021, how can I expect any different? So
Mhm.
that's a good thing. And also if I'm ready to take accountability, that's huge because we are quick to
Yes.
throw blame. So that
Yes.
is huge. That's huge.
Exactly.
And what advice do you have to give to women as a coach who are either looking or who are even presently in a situation when it comes to, I guess, if they're looking, what advice would you give to them if they were in that space where they felt lost or they felt like, there's no one for me, I'm going to be alone forever?
Then I would tell them to really look within themselves to learn to love what they love to do. Like if it's
Hmm.
either hiking, taking photography, if it's relaxing, reading, journaling, hanging out with your girlfriends, with your family, like put yourself in a situation where love radiates out of you without you having to find someone to complete that because you're already complete within yourself. Like, there's no need for someone to go ahead and like put their part for you to be happy because you have to find happiness within yourself first. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, if you're alone and you are feeling like you're not going to find someone and you feel that way, and you're pretty much putting that energy of like, I'm never gonna find someone. But if you focus more on yourself of like, I love to do this, I like to go bike riding, I like to dance with my girlfriends and do all of these things that make me happy, from there, the universe is gonna be like, okay, she's ready. Like, let me send her this person.
Wonderful. And for those who are in a relationship, such as myself, when I know I'm being naughty and I'm becoming complacent, what do you have to tell them?
Still, honestly, the same thing. Retrospect, like, go within yourself. Like, what is it that is bothering you in the relationship? Are you communicating? Are you being grateful for what you have? Are you spending time with yourself? Because I know you have mom duties, you have wife duties, you have work duties, but where are you left in the whole chain of command? Like, are you in the back burner and then you forget about yourself and you have empty cup? Then you have to fill your cup back again to doing the things that you love for an hour, 2 hours, maybe half a day, whatever you can fit in your schedule during the week, because we forget ourselves.
Absolutely. We do forget ourselves. And as we end, I wanted to say, Alejandra brings a great point up. Number one, if you are in that space where you are feeling alone and you don't find happiness, just remember your partner, and this is me, I don't feel like should complete you. They should complement you, you know?
Yes.
So it's always important to remember you should be in a healthy space before you enter looking for someone else, because you also don't want to drag that person down. And if you are
Yes.
not whole, how are you going to be able to have a healthy relationship when you need to make adjustments in your own personal life? So that's a very good point that you bring up. And for those such as myself who are in a relationship, the rule still applies. Don't allow yourself to become complacent. Do those
Yep.
simple little recognitions, because your partner is going to be thankful for that. You don't realize how a simple thank you goes a long way, but we don't say it enough, because when you've been with somebody for a while, regardless what the number is, this is
Mhm.
something they're supposed to do. I know that's the mindset I
Exactly.
have. Yeah. And it's wrong, because a simple thank you, hubby could have maybe didn't have enough sleep for the day. So saying thank you for doing that and not getting enough sleep before you go to work, or just something as simple, can I make you something before you go to work? What can I do to lighten the load up for you? Recognize your partner and make them feel like you appreciate the situation, the presence. So you
Definitely.
provided us with awesome information. Let our listeners know. And of course, the website, all her website information is going to be available when this episode does go up. But is there any final message you want to give out there for anybody who is interested in the coaching?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you stated that the information of where they can contact me, but I have an Instagram account. That's really where I drop all of my nuggets, all the value that I can share for free. If you don't want to go ahead and set up a one-on-one coaching at Manifest with Alejandra, that's pretty much where you can find me. And if you do decide you want to work with me, then we can go ahead and set up a consult call.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I will have her Instagram information available to you as well for you guys. So we appreciate the knowledge of information you've provided us today. And I want to end, because I'm so happy, even me with the multiple streams of income I have as a flight attendant, solo traveling is okay, ladies. We should do it
Yes.
more often. It is all right. Don't always put that negative thinking that something's going to happen to me. It is okay to step out. So we want to end with love yourself, voice yourself, be yourself. And until the next episode, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for tuning in to Fanpale Podcast. If you want to continue the conversation or share your takeaways, I want to hear from you. Head on over to the website or join our Facebook community and comment your favorite part of the show or share your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Chat with you next week.